I'm Kristen Stanton, and I want to thank you so much for watching these morning devotions here on Abundant TV. If you've been following the Rob and Kristen show, you know that we were in Joshua 3 last week, and we talked a little bit about what to do when your life is at flood stage. So we're going to dive back in for just a couple minutes here into Joshua chapter 3, and I am going to point out a couple of things that we need to do walking in obedience to God. And in verse 8, it says, and this was God commanding, and he said, "And you shall command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when you are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, you shall stand still in the Jordan." So the first thing that they had to do was they had to walk in obedience to the thing that God wanted them to do. Sometimes we come to a point in our life where it just feels like you can't go on. And this was not going to be an easy journey for Israel. And they came to this point where, once again, they came up to a river that looked like it was impossible to cross. But in the middle of the impossible is when God does his best work, because God shows off and shows his glory and his power in the middle of our adversity. And we see that when they were obedient and they took those steps is when the miracle happened. And in verse 15, it says, "And as they who bore the ark were come unto the Jordan, and the feet of the priests who bore the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, for the Jordan overflowed all of his banks at the time of the harvest." So this wasn't just a nice, calm little water. This was a Jordan overflowing. This was the rushing currents. And sometimes that's what happens in life, is we feel like it is just going to sweep us away. But then God steps in. And that is what we saw in verse 17. "And the priests who bore the ark of the covenant, they stood firm in dry ground." God dried up the ground, and he is going to do that for you too. When he brings you to the point where he wants to take you into the next level, into the thing that he has for you, into your promised land, he is going to dry up the ground, and he is going to make a way. He's not going to want to have you carry the past over into that new place. You're going to walk over on dry ground, but you have to be obedient and just take the step of faith and watch what God is going to do for you. And having said that, we want you and we encourage you to walk in obedience and go out and live an abundant life.